Hi everyone, my name is Achintya. I was a part of the challenge program from 2012 to 2016 at Mount Doug. I'm currently studying math at the University of Waterloo. I'm majoring in mathematical finance with a minor in pure math. While I'm at Waterloo, I'm also part of the co-op internship program. So between my academic terms, I go off for 4 month or 8 month co-op terms. So I've been really fortunate to work on the trading floors for some of the large banks in Toronto. I've also worked at a hedge fund, and most recently, I worked in undergraduate research studying behavioral economics. Now, I have about, as of taping this video, I have about 4 months left in my undergrad. So I thought it'd be worthwhile to look back at the last 8 years and see how challenge helped me prepare for university, and also talk about what challenge means to me on a more personal level. So I've been thinking about this for some time, and I think I can boil it down to two things. Challenge helped me learn how to, one, research, and two, it helped me learn how to manage my time effectively. So I'll start off by talking about research. Since challenge is very, project based, you do a lot of projects, every year you're in school. You learn how to break down big questions or big problems into manageable portions. And by learning how to break big questions down into manageable portions, you learn how to systematically tackle big problems. Now, that's obviously helpful when you're writing a paper or doing a research project in high school and university. But there are a lot of other benefits to learning that in a high school level. The most important, I think, application, personally, is how it helps me do well at work. At work, when you're at an internship, for example, most often your boss is going to come up to you and say, "Hey, Achintya, I had an idea for this type of project or task for you. I know what I want, I know what your project needs to be able to do, but that's about it. Feel free, use your experience, use your expertise to get it done." So that's a very open-ended, task. I know where I have to end up, but how I do it, how I bridge the knowledge gaps that I have and that are limiting my, success in solving the problem, all of that is up to me. I have to learn what I don't know. I have to make a plan of attack of how I'm going to finish off my work. And I feel like I'm in a position where I know how to do that because I had a really strong foundation in challenge. Because I knew how to research, I know how to break problems down into smaller bits, and I know how to look up resources that can help me. That sounds really easy when I say it out loud, but in my first year of university, I was really surprised to see that a lot of high school students who didn't come from a challenge background didn't know how to do research. And they found that transition to first year and more research-based work in university very difficult. But because I came from challenge, where you do that almost every year, I knew how to tackle those school assignments. And because I knew how to do that, I found some of the hurdles in university to be very manageable. So that's what I learned on the research front. But in terms of managing my time, challenge also helped me there too. Now in challenge, you have a lot of work, as I mentioned. You have a lot of project-based work as well. I was also part of the swim team at Mount Doug, and I also swam for a club. So that took up a lot of time, going to swim practice, sometimes traveling for swim meets means you have to miss school, and you don't have a lot of time to just, sit at home and watch TV. So you have to learn how to manage your priorities. You have to learn how to use your time effectively. And since I was able to practice that, 4 years in high school, when I got to university, that transition was also a lot easier. You'll hear a lot about people saying that the transition into university is hard, and it is, don't get me wrong. The transition from grade 12 to university can be pretty rough. It's a big difference, especially if you're living on your own. But if we just talk about the school part of it, because I managed my time, or at least learned how to better manage my time in high school, when I got into first year university, where I was responsible for, my own studying schedule, getting to class on time, and all that, I already had those skills and habits in place that made that much easier. So while a lot of other students struggle with that transition because it's really easy to get lazy when you don't have to get to school by 8:30 because your parents aren't there to drive you. A lot of people start missing classes, doing their own thing, watching movies all day, whatever. But that's fun in the short term. But because I had those habits developed in high school, I was really fortunate where I could just go to university, do the same thing, and I was able to do pretty well in my first year classes. So I think those two things that I learned from Challenge made university a lot easier. And because you build those foundational skills in high school, you're in a place where you can really build off that in university. So that's been something that's been really, really important to me. Aside from the skills you learn in Challenge, Challenge means a lot more to me than just that. For me, the people I met in Challenge were definitely the highlight. I know it's a cliche, but I'll try to explain that a little bit more. So first off, I was really fortunate that all the teachers I had in Challenge were awesome. Every time you go into class, they really want you to learn, they want you to succeed. I took that for granted while I was in high school, but looking back at it, I realized that made my high school experience, that made my classes so much more enjoyable, and it really kept me excited to go to school. Now, aside from that, the friends and the other students you have in Challenge are the best thing about the program. Being around people who are motivated and really talented in really different things is exciting. It motivates you to work harder. It motivates you to try new things. And in high school, at least for me, my goal was to try to figure out what I like so I could figure out what I wanted to do after high school. So because I had such a passionate group of students around me who really worked hard, I was motivated, and I had like a community that helped me take some harder courses where I could figure out what my passions were. Because of that, when I was in probably grade 11 or grade 12, I realized that this math thing was pretty cool and I liked it. So I took AP Physics in grade 12, and I was okay. I was decent at it, but I quickly realized that that's not for me. So because I had a strong group of friends who encouraged me and were always there to help me through AP Physics and harder courses like that, I was able to take those leaps and try courses that I wouldn't normally take. And because I was able to do that, I was able to find what I was really excited about. And aside from that, I would say the friends you make in Challenge are honestly like lifelong friends. I still at least text a lot of my closest friends from Challenge every day. And I think that says a lot, given that we graduated about 4.5 years ago. Throughout the 4.5 years, we've lived in all different places, and the fact that we've still been able to stay in touch is pretty amazing. We text almost every day, and we usually have some type of video chat or FaceTime still once a week. And I think that's pretty amazing. So for me, having such a strong group of friends coming out of Challenge has been awesome. When you have challenges in university, having that group of people that you can rely on is priceless. And even today, some of my friends are doing some amazing things. One of my friends just started a master's PhD program in biology. Another friend just started med school. A couple of my friends started their own company. So I think that's a testament that shows that after Challenge, you can really do whatever you want because you have such a strong foundation of skills. And of course, it involves a lot of hard work in university and all that. But Challenge really sets you up to have a really strong set of skills where you can really pursue anything you want after you leave Challenge. So I think that's a really quick summary of why I really enjoyed my time in Challenge. I hope it was helpful or you learned something from that, and thank you really much for listening.